Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. It's Teresa here, and today the creative team for Traci Reed Designs is hosting the Hygge YouTube Hop. And so I hope that you will hop along with us, check out all the amazing creators who are participating today. I will link all of the participants down below. And of course, I will link the Hygge digital collection as well. And so the vibe of this collection is based off of a defining characteristic of Danish culture called hygge. And the definition that Traci has given in the collection is a quality of coziness and comfortable conviviality that engenders a feeling of contentment or well-being. And so there are some elements of cozy winter vibes and some snow. The Hygge winter collection has a lot of snow embellishments. And so that's what I'm going to pull together from this collection for this layout. I'm working with a photo from 2013 from one of our memorable snowfalls. I live in North Carolina, and so we don't get a lot of snow, hardly ever. So when we do get snow, it's worthy of a great collection like this to document. And so what I've pulled is a couple of the patterned papers, and then I printed this frame for my photo. The frame has primarily this rich orange around it. Look, I glued it down. I glued the photo down and forgot that I was going to put pattern papers behind it. So, rewind. Let's go back here. What I chose was 4 pattern papers, and these go behind the photo, behind the frame, just to help give the photo a little bit more presence on the page. And I'm doing a pretty basic page design here, a photo, and then the snowflakes are going to cascade across the page. And so it's all going to be housed on white cardstock. And this way, the photo doesn't just sit by itself. It has company. You'll notice that some of the papers here I printed on sticker paper. And I'll talk more about that in the other layouts that I've done for the Hygge release. But I also discovered that it was kind of nice to use the pattern paper on sticker papers. This particular sticker paper is from Avery, and Avery does their backing piece in sections. And so you can pull off a section and just have adhesive on that one section behind your pattern paper. And so that kind of worked out randomly and really nice for this cluster. And I also had printed and cut the snow day word art, and that seemed to be perfect for this photo. And now everything else from this point on becomes or takes on a supportive role. And so what I want to do first off is to create a background to tie in this white space around the photo. So I went through my stash and looked for stamps that featured snowflakes. And I was kind of surprised. I don't have a lot of snowflake themed product in my stash, mainly because we don't get snow very much, and there isn't a lot to document from our area of North Carolina. But I pulled what I had, and so I'm stamping those again on the diagonal from top left to bottom right. like they're coming out from behind the photo. I'm using Versamagic ink pads. They're light, and I like that they don't overpower the layout, and they definitely won't compete. I feel like they will accent what's going to go on top of the background. And so I'm using like a navy color, a green, and a lighter blue, and stamping each snowflake in a different color around these photos. This is so fun. I could just do this all day and just get carried away with it. Also notice how I am stamping on the pattern papers and on the frame around the photo as well, to help bring it all together and to give that feeling like the snowflakes are falling over the whole page, even though technically they're not. And I also wanted to just say that I feel like this layout is the kismet of digital and hybrid and physical scrapbooking. I went into my stash and pulled out, you can see on the right hand side of the screen, I pulled out some buttons, some brads, some other just cute little things, some wood snowflakes that I've had in my stash for probably like 8 years. I don't know, but they finally get their day in the sun. All right, so this is the featured element of my layout. I took in the Ellie's folder of the Hygge winter kit are these beautiful glitter snowflakes, and I printed them one set on regular sticker paper with a white background, and I also printed a second set on vellum. And I just want to say that these glitter elements in Traci's collections, there are always some in the digital kit, and they print out beautifully on vellum and or clear sticker paper. So I encourage you to try that. Thank you to Traci for turning me on to that. And a lot of the elements here for this layout were printed on sticker paper, and I had a really good time playing with these elements. And so what I wanted to do, I've done this before, I wanted to layer the snowflakes, the vellum on top of the sticker paper snowflake underneath it. And then I wanted to hold those together using different color brads. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm kind of placing the sticker snowflakes, so they're all laid down on the layout at this point, and then I'm pairing them up with the vellum snowflakes. The good news is that when you print something twice in your Silhouette software, right? You print it twice, you cut it twice, it's the exact same thing, and you know you have enough to match. I think I printed out a total of 16 snowflakes, 4 groups of 4. I didn't use them all, but that's okay. I think there were like 2 or 3 of the stickers left over. All right, so I've got them all adhered down, and now I want to add the vellum overlays. And I tried to speed this up a little bit faster so that we weren't here for too long of a time. These brads I've had forever, and I don't know why, but recently I've been sort of using brads more in my layouts, and so that's a lot of fun. Basically, I just poke through with a little paper piercer and then poke the brad through and fold it down at the back of the layout so that it's secured. Some of them only go through the pattern paper, and that's fine too. You know, there's two different ways you can go about doing this. You can, of course, construct your snowflakes off of the page, put the brad through the sticker, and then adhere it to your layout. But I just went ahead and adhered it all together and stuck the brads all the way through the layout. That's fine. Either way is going to work out for you. So it did take a little bit of doing, but it also looks really fun. What I did was used contrasting colors. So the snowflakes themselves are light blue, navy blue, the sort of rust orange color. Was that 3 colors? Maybe, I think, and maybe a light teal or something. Maybe I did just use, well, there. Now it won't stay still long enough. It looks like there's two different light blues, a dark blue and a orange sort of rust color. And then the color of brads that I used were blue, turquoise, navy, green, and brown. And I just used, and also white. I used some of the white ones on the navy blue snowflakes and used some of the brown ones on the lighter blue snowflakes, wherever it made the most contrast, so that you could see the centers of those snowflakes. And also I curved up the edges of the vellum snowflakes so they get a feeling of dimension there, and this feeling like they're popping off of the page, sort of like when you're standing in a snowstorm. So yeah, then I also added some wooden snowflakes around the page. And again, I don't know where those came from or how long I've had them, but it was kind of exciting to pull them out and get to use them. I had a couple of vellum snowflakes left over, so I tucked a few of those. At this point, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on the cascade of snowflakes themselves, but I also wanted to start filling in a little bit in the blank space of the layout, or the white space. I'm going to fill in that blank space, baby. So what I did was tucked those leftover vellum snowflakes underneath the pattern papers, and then I'm also adding these little acrylic clear snowflakes. Again, no idea where they came from. I've had them in my stash forever, but today is their day in the snow. And I gotta stop being so cheesy. And then I just added those, or attached those with glue dots, that thing. And then here are a couple of little tiny acrylic stars. And I'm also, check it out, I'm pulling out some buttons. I don't know where buttons went. There was a time in circa 2008 that every layout had buttons on them, and then they all vanished. But I will tell you, a great source to find buttons is look for Buttons Galore at scrapbook.com, and also look at Doodlebug Designs. And they have some cute assortment and varieties of buttons. And I also just sometimes just go looking down the button aisle at Joann's or Michael's and pick up a few cute things here and there. And so again, I followed that same sort of color pattern, the green, rust orange, and blues with the buttons. I didn't use a lot, just a few here and there, but here we go. Let's bring buttons back, my friends. I wanted to stamp the date here. I cannot believe that this was now 11 years ago. If you're wondering who are these little people in the photo, that is Nick and Addison. And it is hard to believe that they were 10 and 9 in that photo. They're now all grown, but all the more important time to document these stories. And I feel a push this year to focus on their albums and get these stories told, especially now that they're older, and so that they're kind of living their own life, and I don't have as many photos anymore of them as I used to. So I added the date there at the top of the pattern paper cluster, and then I'm going to write my journaling here at the bottom. I'm using a Jelly Roll pen. It's a gray pen, not quite black. And then I'm going to stamp some lines here. This is my trusty Becky Higgins line stamp. Also circa 2010. I've used this thing so much. It's probably my most used tool in my studio. I kind of had to finagle it around that acrylic snowflake, but that's okay. Let me just make sure I got everything adhered, and I didn't. There was a little acrylic star that fell. Whoops. There. So let me get those attached. And then another thing, one last thing, I was trying to figure out, so there's a lot of white space on this page, and what happens in the upper right hand corner and the lower left hand corner where there are no snowflakes currently, it looks like the page just falls off into eternity. And so your eye is looking for the edge of the layout. It wants to make sure, have I seen it all? Where did the layout go on those corners? And so I'm going to solidify the boundary of this page. And the way that I'm doing it is with some very simple, it's a little line on this stamp that just has little arrows, I guess you can call it. And I'm going to stamp those in a couple of places, and then I'm going to call this layout done. So be sure, again, to check out all the contributors today on our YouTube hop for the Hygge digital collection from Traci Reed Designs. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you back here again very soon. Bye-bye.